Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78 from the West Loop at Fono Rosso. I am talking about all things City Pizza Fest happening here in Chicago on the 22nd of August through the 24th, up in the River North neighborhood. But it's pizza, 14 different varieties daily. Talking to the founder and Fest head honcho, Steve Dolinsky. You've seen him on Channel 7, Channel 5. All these spaces. This is what he's up to now. He's got a podcast, he's writing books, he's got all the things, but we're gonna sample one of these slices of pie ahead of the big City Pizza Fest for this story from the 78, so let's go inside. All right, on the eve of City Pizza Fest, I'm here with Steve Dolinsky. How you doing, sir?
I'm outstanding. Great to see you. Pizza City Fest on the horizon.
Yeah, and you have, this is a journey to get to where you are here from your first days back when you started in Chicago television to now. You've been all about our food scene and you want to elevate what people think of just deep dish pizza in Chicago, right?
Yeah, everybody thinks Chicago pizza is kind of a one-trick pony, stuffed pizza, right? 2 layers of dough. There's deep dish, there's deep pan, there's of course Chicago thin.
Sure.
Some people call tavern style. There's also Neapolitan, Roman, Sicilian, Detroit, artisan. We're a real pizza city and I want people to know that outside of Chicago and in the city.
What would you say is your biggest, you've seen the misconception of Chicago and our food in general versus when you go to places like New York or overseas and things like that?
Biggest misconception is that they think Chicago style, they think deep dish, and then they think stuffed is the deep dish. And that's kind of all wrong. When you say Chicago style pizza, most people from Chicago, with the exception of those from Lincolnwood near where Lou Malnati started, will say they grew up on thin pizza.
Yeah.
And the Pope's favorite pizza, Aurelio's, South Side.
South
you know,
side.
on the far north side, Barnaby's up in the suburbs, Armand's on the west side. Tavern style, Chicago thin, bar pie, whatever you want to call it, that is really I think the most prevalent style of Chicago pizza. And then there's deep dish, of course, that the tourists love to try.
Yeah.
And there's no shame with deep dish,
No.
but I don't think every local eats that.
No, I think most locals are like, ugh, I don't want deep dish, I want X kind of pizza. I want Vito and Nick's, or I want Lou Malnati's, you know, they're thin crust. A lot of people don't know they have thin crust, but you know what I mean? Like there's
Right.
all these different variations, and that's the impetus of this fest that you have coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important that we show people that Chicago has these multiple styles. New York has the slice, the square, and the grandma style, which is kind of a Sicilian. Chicago has 10 plus styles of pizza. And the cool thing about this Pizza City Fest is that we bring all these pizzerias to you. We have commercial ovens baking them live. So you're getting the pizzas fresh and hot.
Right.
That's really important, I think, at a pizza festival. I don't want delivery, I don't want it cold. Definitely not frozen.
Right, it's not like in a heat warmer off on the side.
It's not in a hot box.
Yeah,
this is
thank
made
you.
fresh and hot, and you're getting places from Cary to come down and make deep dish. You're getting places from Downers Grove to come in and make Neapolitan. You're getting places from New Lenox, Pizza di Farfalla. Nobody's heard of that pizza in the city.
No.
I'm glad to bring it to Chicagoans to try his amazing pizza. So we're bringing all these pizzerias into one place, into one lot, that you can experience 14 different pizzerias in one day.
And that's right off of Michigan Avenue on Rush Street in River North, right?
Exactly, 430 North Rush. It's right between the Wrigley Building and Nordstrom in that huge open parking lot.
You know somebody when you can throw a festival in that area of the city. I'm just saying.
Well,
It's a good area of the city to be in, is what I'm saying.
we're on good terms with the alderman.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Recently reading about the festival, it's 3 days, you have these demos, you have these talks. It almost feels like a South by Southwest, but for pizza.
That's a great way to think about it. It's kind of like an Aspen meets South by Southwest meets some kind of a food festival. And so education is always a big part of what we do. So on Sunday, we have a panel discussion, what is Chicago style pizza, with 4 of the premier people in their categories, moderated by John Kessler from Chicago Magazine. And then we've got a class, how to make basically any kind of pizza in any kind of oven, because people these days will use a home oven, they've got an electric oven, they've got a wood burning oven in the back. So basically how to make great pizza at home. And we've got a pizza box folding competition for great prizes, which I think is a kind of a fun thing. We added that this year to our event in LA, because we've done LA 3 years in a row.
Right.
And this is our 3rd event in Chicago, and feel like, you know, we've got to keep changing it a little bit each year. We've made a lot of changes this year, new venue, new production company, added live bands. So
Yeah, curated by the folks at Q101, right? And Duff Entertainment.
Q101 is involved, Duff Entertainment's involved. They do a great job. They do a lot of festivals around Chicago, so they kind of know what they're doing. And I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, and I love 80s music, and so 16 Candles is going to be headlining one of the nights I'm very excited about. And it's going to be a fun event. I mean, nighttime on Friday and Saturday, but then daytime on Sunday for families. So it kind of checks all the boxes. You can do an all-you-can-eat ticket, or you can just do an a la carte, pay-as-you-go ticket. Kind of, you make your own fest.
And Steve, you've been doing this a long time in Chicago, one way or another. For the folks that have watched you on TV, you've been at various stations, and now you are in a different chapter doing this type of event. I imagine this is a little bit of a different fulfillment for you in terms of getting to really connect with what you love with the food scene here in Chicago.
It really does let me connect with the food scene in a different way. I'm no longer associated with one TV station. I think that was kind of my calling card for so long.
Sure.
And now it's, I work for Levy, and I'm still in the food space, but I still very much have this pizza hat that I wear. I don't want to call it a side hustle. It's really, it's about promoting Chicago pizzas. It's about shining a light on little places, little independents like Forno Rosso.
Yeah.
It's about educating people. It's about making donations to a local charity. So in this case, Donate Pizza is our local charity in Chicago. I just think it's important for people to understand and to kind of experience what the locals experience. I don't want to just have a tour. Pizza so often in Chicago is about a tourist experience, and I want to bring it down to the neighborhood level. And so on every sign, you'll see the neighborhood where the pizzerias are from. We should talk about the Forno Rosso pizza really quickly. So Forno Rosso, known for their Neapolitan-style pizza. They've got a VPN certificate. That means Verace Pizza Napoletana. They've been certified by the governing body in Naples.
Wow.
We're going to do the Diablo, with the devil, at our event. It's got fior di latte. That just means fresh mozzarella. These little clouds of white, that's the fresh mozz. They get that shipped in every Tuesday from Italy. San Marzano tomatoes near Mount Vesuvius. And then a little spicy salami they call sopressata. Now the thing about Neapolitan pizza, you got to be a little careful. It's not as rigid as a New York style or even a Detroit style or even a tavern style. It's a little bit softer. These are baked for about 90 seconds in a 900-degree oven. But at our event, we've got electric ovens that bake at very high temperatures, so they can easily bake this pizza. I'm going to fold this in half. I love, first of all, the crust is great. This char, this is an important part of pizza. Excuse me while I eat.
Yeah, go for it.
The undercarriage. You want to see in the undercarriage a little bit of charring, as well as on the lip. This is called the cornicione. On the heel, you want to see that charring, that blackening, that blistering. And then the middle is softer, wetter, more pliable. Oftentimes in Naples, you need a knife and a fork to eat this pizza. At Pizza City Fest, you get either a full slice or a half slice, so different prices. It'll allow you to sample if you want to. But the combination of the San Marzano tomatoes and the fior di latte cheese on this beautiful crust has been fermented, dough's been fermented for about a day, baked in 90 seconds. It really is a unique combination you only find in Naples. So this is one of the experiences you'll have. Lantern from Downers Grove does a similar style of pizza, but Forno Rosso's been doing it, as long as just about anybody in Chicago.
You've been to a lot of pizza places. Obviously, you have this fest coming up here, the 22nd through the 24th. What do you love, though, about Chicago and its pizza, the love of its pizza? Like, I feel like a lot of people don't really truly understand that ethos that is our love. And you go to different neighborhoods, south side, north side, northwest side, big pizza area, you know what I mean? Like a lot of blue collar neighborhoods have some of the best pizza.
Yeah, well, people in Chicago love to celebrate their neighborhood pizza. They rarely, like in other cities, like in LA, you don't leave your little bubble. So if you're an Aurelio's guy on the south side, you tend not to leave that bubble.
Right.
If you're a Barnaby's person up on the North Shore, you tend to stay in that bubble as well. So that's your kind of your barometer. I call it the PEG syndrome, the pizza I grew up eating syndrome. That's the best pizza in your mind. We also call it the pizza cognition theory.
Sure.
So people are very loyal to their neighborhood pizzas. Like, you cannot convince somebody from Bridgeport there's a better pizza than Phil's on 35th. I mean, that's their pizza, right?
That's fantastic pizza,
I may disagree with that. My wife grew up on Barnaby's. I'm a big fan of that sort of Chicago thin style of pizza too. People are people are loyal to their local varieties, and I get that. But I love that we're so fiercely defensive about those pizzas, because that's really what makes Chicago special. 77 neighborhoods, 77 different pizzerias and opinions about what we think is great. Some neighborhoods are going to lean deep dish or deep pan or tavern or stuffed. If you're in Portage Park, you might be a Super Rosa guy. You can go stuffed or thin.
Right. And growing up, you know, like I remember going to a pizza place, pizza parlor, we used to call them back in the day, was like a rite of passage. You played Little League, you had your party at the end of the season at the pizza parlor. Do you have any of those kind of memories growing up?
Well, I grew up in Minnesota.
Well, I know,
so I've only been here for 32 years, but I absolutely have those memories. Kind of embarrassed to say it was Shakey's.
I've heard of Shakey's.
Shakey's is a chain, started in Sacramento in the 50s. They're still around on the West Coast.
That's where my wife is from. Yeah.
Not a great pizza, let me tell you. I've been back to try it since, but that was my childhood. That was my Peeg syndrome, pizza I grew up eating syndrome.
Yeah, everybody has
That's
those.
what I had as a kid was Shakey's and the Mojo potatoes and the pizza buffet. You could watch them make the pizza. It was just fascinating as a kid.
Yeah.
My palate has to over the years.
I would say so. I mean, you've got a few books about pizza.
Yeah.
You have, what are all the things that you have? You have a website. Go for it.
Okay, so in 2017, I went down this rabbit hole. I was tired of people ripping on Chicago pizza. I saw the famous Jon Stewart rant in The Daily Show, where he had a picture of a stuffed pizza and talked about deep dish, and I thought there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And so first book was Pizza City, USA, 101 Reasons Why Chicago is America's Greatest Pizza Town. And again, because of our deep bench.
Yeah.
And then that led to a tour business called Pizza City Tours, which we give every weekend through the summertime. And then that led to a podcast called Pizza City, which is it was every other Friday until this month. It's now monthly. And then Pizza City Fest, which we're talking about now. We started in 22 in Chicago. We've done 3 in a row in LA. We did 1 in Nashville last year. We took a break from Chicago, and now we're back in Chicago for year 3. So yeah, a book, a tour, a podcast, and a fest. It's a lot.
That's a lot. Almost full circle, though, for you to have the fest right back here in Chicago, 22nd through the 24th here of August.
Yeah, and the fest is really a way to bring the book and the podcast and the tours to life, right? So you get all these experiences in one parking lot, which is really difficult to do, let me tell you, because shipping in the ovens from Washington, D.C. is not easy, nor is it inexpensive. So that's why I'm proud to bring this to Chicago so we can celebrate our local pizzerias in the best way possible. It is August 22nd to 24th. All the information at pizzacityfest.com.
And the ticket, you have 3-day passes, single-day passes, but the ticket gets you the 14 pizzas, and that changes. Does that change daily?
They change every day.
Yeah.
Some pizzerias are going to be there 2 days,
Sure.
but you will have a different lineup every day.
So it's worth to come 3 days.
It's worth coming 2 days, I think. The VIP ticket is unlimited eating, all the food. We also have sides and salads and desserts. Zarlingos is going to do ice. We're going to have Vero Gelato from Elmwood Park. But yeah, and then the GA ticket is just your admission, and then you can pay for whatever you want. Full slices or half slices.
Got it. Well, thank you very much, and congrats on the fest and all the success, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Hope to see you guys out there next weekend.
Story from the 78 here in the West Loop, Tom Barnes, Chicago at gmail.com if you have a story from the 78 suggestion, or head over to the website storiesfromthe78.com. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.